おはようございます。海外難民の妻です。Today is laundry day. It is easily my least favorite day of the whole week. I never thought I'd have to dedicate an entire day to doing laundry, but 3 people make way more laundry than I expected. So, here we are. I need to take the laundry down the street to do it, as we do not have a washing unit in our home. So, between taking care of my son and going back and forth with it all, this takes up an entire day. In the US, it is not common for apartments to have a washer set up in the apartment. Most apartments offer a shared laundry room at best. Many don't even have that, so you need to go to a laundromat to do it. My dream is to have a house with a washer and dryer. It would be so nice. But I don't see that happening until I go back to work full-time. That brings me to the topic of the day: daycare versus having a stay-at-home parent. As you can tell by my husband's channel, having only one income in the US is very difficult, even when you don't have a family. So, why do many Americans decide to do it? While there is no simple answer for that, I can give some insight. The most important one is really the cost. On average, in our area, a daycare is over $500 per week per child under 1 year of age. After 1 year of age, the cost goes down, but it is still about $400 per week per child. As far as I understand, this cost does not cover any meals or snacks. You still need to provide those yourself. Perhaps more expensive daycare centers provide them. I'm not sure. Many daycares will not take babies younger than 3 months. Some will not take children under 1 year. Any daycare that does take infants usually fill up quickly, and it is hard to get a spot in one. You need to search months in advance to be sure you have a place for your child. Getting a spot can be very competitive and difficult. Currently, there are no laws that provide a right to paid family leave in the US. Any new parent, including adoptive parents and foster parents, may take up to 12 weeks of unpaid family leave at any point in the child's first year with them. This law only protects the individual's status at their job. In other words, a new parent cannot get fired for taking time off for a new child.
He gets very upset every time I wash this blankie. All right, now I'm going to take the blankie, okay? Oh, sorry. All right.
Many companies in the US offer 3 months paid leave for a new child. Some only offer 2 months. Some women are lucky to get 2 weeks off with pay. Many women will consider a company's maternity leave when applying or accepting a job. Because of the incredibly short time off, many families will split up their time off to increase the amount of time their baby is home.
1 minute. I'll be back in 1 minute.
For example, the couple will take off for the first month together, and then one person would return to work while the other one stays home. Then, when that parent's 3 months are up, the other parent will complete their time off. This, at longest, gives a baby of a working family 5 months at home before they need to be put in daycare. At that age, most babies aren't mobile at all, so they sit in rockers at the daycare. Often, they will be in front of a TV to keep them entertained. Obviously, as babies become more mobile, their daycare activities become more interactive and fun. Some parents work from home and have the option to keep their baby at home with them. These parents do not recommend this. They say it is incredibly difficult and they feel really guilty because they don't get to play with their kid as much as they'd like. But they do it because they don't want to put their kid in daycare, either because of the cost or other reasons. I think these parents are superheroes personally. Hats off to them. Having a nanny is also an option, but they are the most expensive. The average nanny makes about $750 per week if they work full-time. I used to nanny when I was in college. I made at least $90 a week, but made as much as $300 per week, only working after the kids came home from school 2 to 3 days a week. There are many families that can do a combination of any of the above options. Many families work from home some days with the kids, put them in daycare other days, or have a family member or nanny watch them.
そう、洗濯するのになんかカードいるみたいなんですけど、今妻が忘れて取りに行ってます。
Every family makes it work the way they can. Still, many families decide to have a stay-at-home parent. This is because usually the parent that stays home will not make enough to cover childcare, or will make just enough to cover it. Some will still have made a profit, but it would be so minimal that they couldn't justify having their kid in daycare just for a career. That's usually what I see happening, and was our personal situation. It would have cost about $2,000 per month for our son to be in daycare, and I was making about $2,600 before taxes at my most recent job. I would have been in the negative actually, including my commuting expenses. I know many families that put their first kid in daycare, but once they have a second one, they can't afford it anymore. Recently, many families are deciding to only have one child for this reason. For many families, having one parent stay at home is the most economical option. For others, their career can't take a pause, or they choose not to pause it. Whatever choice it is, all parents can agree that the system in the US is not set up well for families. Most families that I know wish there was more support for new families, especially postpartum mothers. All can agree that 3 months is not enough time to be home with a newborn. At 3 months old, they can't even sit up by themselves. At 3 months, they haven't started eating solid food yet. Any mother who wishes to breastfeed pretty much gives up after returning to work because it becomes too hard to keep up with all the pumping. On top of everything else, there is the emotional aspect to consider. Many women experience postpartum depression, anxiety, rage, or even psychosis. This can make it hard to return to work. I personally suffered terrible postpartum depression and anxiety, and even the thought of being away from my son would make me break down crying. I truly feel sorry for any new parent that is experiencing that and has to go into work. I don't think I would have been able to. Even after 6 months, I had a hard time returning for only 1 day a week. I realize many women do not experience this. However, any that do feel what I felt would have found it impossible to go back to work and leave their baby. It took me about a year to start feeling normal again. I wish there was a law that allowed one parent to be off for the full first year of a baby's life. A year is enough time to care for the child, adjust to life with baby, and help them enter daycare if that is what works for the family. 3 months is ridiculous, no matter the circumstances. A few women that I've met at playgroup are able to work part-time to keep their career going and their mind stimulated. That seems to be the best way to balance everything, though your time with your partner becomes very limited. I see many families choosing to have one parent become part-time to keep the bills paid, but also keep the baby home. You have no idea how many times I forget this card. Every time I forget it, I die a little more inside. For me, working part-time has been really great for my mental health. It seems to really make a difference in the family dynamic as well. Though what I do for the family around the house is definitely hard work, I like feeling like I have some other task other than home. I will say though, being a stay-at-home parent is a lot more challenging than I originally thought. I thought I'd be bored at home all day, but as you can see, I rarely take a break. Though we have struggled to make this work, I'm really glad I get to stay home with our son. This time together has been really meaningful. Though, not laundry day. Laundry day has no meaning and is only chaos. There's no joy in laundry. Thank God for that scary wreath by the laundry door.